Sorry, had to do that. Get on up! Oh, okay, I'm gonna stop. Get On Up is the biopic of the legendary James Brown, directed by Tate Taylor, who brought us The Help. Basically, it's a biopic. It tells the story, the life story of the legendary James Brown, played by Chadwick Boseman, who you might remember as Jackie Robinson from last year's 42. It tells the story of his background, where he came from, and what he was like as a music performer. And needless to say, I was looking forward to it, because even though I want to preface something right here, I don't really know much about the James Brown story. I don't know what he was like, and I do like some of the music, but I went into this movie not really knowing his story. But that being said, I really enjoyed this movie quite a bit. It was really good. It's got a few things wrong with it, though. That's mostly with the plot structure and stuff, but let's get on with the positive. Chadwick Boseman as James Brown, by a particular point, he's unrecognizable. The makeup and the hairstyle, like when he gets the long hair and everything, it's just like, dude, that is not Chadwick Boseman. That is James Brown. And his persona, I mean, again, I don't know what his persona was like, but he has a really strong presence to him. Like, he's very outspoken and outgoing, and he's very confident in himself and his abilities and stuff, while at the same time having a bit of an ego. Now, as far as the singing goes, I mean, most of the time it was lip-syncing to actual James Brown songs, but when Chadwick Boseman was actually singing, he was really good. And the lip-syncing, I didn't really care. The other actors in there, Octavia Spencer and Viola Davis, oddly from The Help, they're really good in their roles, and Dan Aykroyd is in there briefly. That's kind of cool to see. And also, since I'm a big Stones fan, the Rolling Stones are in here briefly, and I kind of liked how James Brown took a jab at them a little bit, because he's at this show at one point where he has to let the Stones be the closing act, and he doesn't like that. I'm just like, whoa, don't take a jab at the Stones, man, come on. And oddly enough, Mick Jagger was the producer for this movie. How about that? I also like the look of the movie from the 1960s setting and the 70s and 80s and so on. Tate Taylor does a really good job of capturing that 1960s feeling. I'm kind of a sucker for period pieces in a way. There's something very special about that time to me. I mean, in terms of like a historical perspective, if that makes any sense. And there's some really good moments in here. There's some really emotional stuff with James Brown and having to deal with his mother and his father, like from when he was a little boy. And by a particular point, you really feel sorry for this guy, even though he's got, like I said, a bit of an ego. And Chadwick Boseman, once again, knocks it out of the park. With all that being said, this movie has problems. Mostly the pacing and the structure. Certain things are kind of oddly put all around here. The plot's kind of all over the place. Like, for instance, minor spoilers. Finally sees his mother again after so long. Just when you're about to see a conversation between the two, that just gets, like, pushed aside. And then once near the ending, it gets brought up again. But it's just kind of like, not that it's a bad thing. It just drags the movie down a bit, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, Get On Up is a pretty good biopic and a great performance by Chadwick Boseman. And I don't know if this will happen, but maybe he could get considered for an Oscar if it's not too early. I mean, would it happen? Probably not. But maybe there could be talk about it. Who knows? So if any of you who have seen Get On Up, comment below. Tell me what you thought of Get On Up. If you're a fan of James Brown, do you think it did a good job of telling his story? Let me know down below, and later.